Hey, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Is it okay with the audio? Yes, all right. Oh my God, something happened with my laptop and I couldn't tag you as well as I couldn't send the link. So initially I was a little bit panicking. So I decided just to send directly to you like the link via the Zalo group. All right, but eventually it was fine. It turns out to be fine. Okay, we have some of the topics right here in part number one. How about we start with something easy? Okay, the topic of patience. All right, are you a patient person?
I don't think so. I think I can easily lose my temper, especially when something uh can go well as planned. So I think I need to improve uh that situation. Like I need to be more patient.
Okay, all right. Improve that situation. It can be a little bit more natural. All right, how can you fix it? Instead of
I
improve the situation, you can say
improve temper.
you can improve for sure. You can say improve, or at the same time, you can say work on, right? Okay, work on instead of situation, you can say disregard. Okay, it's like this aspect. Okay, I need more work on this aspect. Okay, yes, 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 yes. What kind of things that usually make you feel impatient?
So I usually feel impatient when I'm stuck in traffic or when someone is late without telling me. So I think this is because I value punctuality and don't like wasting time.
Okay. You value punctuality and you don't like your time to be wasted, right? Okay, yes, 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 yes. And does your job require you to be patient?
So I'm still a student, but I think studying definitely requires patience. Sometimes, like understanding a concept or preparing for exams takes longer than expected. So I have to be persistent and keep trying. Yeah.
All right. Really good. We can move on to a topic of fishing. Okay. So do you like fishing?
Oh, yes, I think no. Honestly, I'm not very into fishing because I it can be quite slow and requires a lot of patience. Yeah. However, I appreciate is at a peaceful outdoor activity.
Hmm. Okay. Peaceful outdoor activity. Okay. It requires a lot of patience, right? And you say something like, "Oh, the whole activity is quite slow." All right. And at the same time, because sometimes we need to wait until the fish got caught, right? So it can be a little bit monotonous. Okay, it can be a little bit monotonous and boring. Okay. How about eating fish? Do you like eating fish?
Yes, I think I enjoy eating fish very much. I think it's not only delicious but also healthy because it rich in protein and like omega-3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. We have this one, right? Can you help me to pronounce it one more time? Okay. Let's see. Maybe we can work on stress a little bit. All right.
Protein.
Okay. Stress on the first syllable, right? Protein. Once again.
Protein.
Yeah. All right. So as you can see here, we have only two syllables, right? Protein. 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 Okay. Amazing protein. Omega 3 as well. And is fishing a popular activity in your country?
I think fishing is quite popular, especially in coastal or rural areas where people rely on it for food or livelihood. But in cities, it's just a recreational activity or sport for some who are in youth who are like interested in fishing. Yeah.
Okay. It's more like a niche, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A niche in interest. Okay. Or niche recreational activity. You have just used word recreation. Recreational. Right. However, we don't say recreational, right? We say recreational.
Recreational.
Recreation.
Recreational.
Okay. So I'll write out it right here. Recreational. Okay. We can move on to talk about roads or streets. Okay. Are there any famous roads or streets in your country?
Yes, Vietnam has many famous streets. In Hanoi, there is a Hàng Bạc Street, which is well known for its traditional jewelry shops and like bustling markets.
You mentioned jewelry shop, right? Okay, jewelry shops and bustling markets. Okay. With streets at the same time, we use the word. The street is famous for. We can also use the word renowned for, right? Okay, it's renowned for, or it is known for. Okay, it's renowned for, is known for jewelry. Okay. How about like the conditions of the roads or the streets? Do you think the conditions could be improved?
Definitely. I mean, many roads in my city could benefit from better maintenance and like wider lanes to ease the traffic congestion. And moreover, some areas suffer from potholes or poor drainage. So, upgrading the infrastructure would improve safety and reduce uh, travel time. I think so.
Okay, reduce travel time because if we have wider streets, we could effectively alleviate traffic congestion, right? Really good. You also use one, but I believe that this word is very tricky to pronounce. Very tricky.
Maintenance. Maintenance.
Oh, maintenance. Once again.
Maintenance.
Maintenance. Very tricky one because we have a verb like maintain, right? So we have something like maintenance, but English catches us by surprise. Maintenance, okay. And at the same time, I want to challenge you with the pronunciation of this word. How can you pronounce it?
Modernity. I think so.
Okay, we all think so, right? But let's see.
Modernity. Modernity.
Modernity, right? Maintenance and modernity. Okay, yes. It's like a trap for all of the English learners. Okay, all right. So, how do people in your country cross the road? How do they cross the road?
So, we usually cross a designated pedestrian crossings or at traffic lights, but sometimes like jaywalking is common due to heavy traffic or impatience. Us and also motorbikes and cars often don't strictly follow the traffic rules, so many residents have to be very careful. It's always important to stay alert.
All right. I think the foreigners, when they first visit Vietnam, they will experience this one most strongly. Okay, a lot of them were horrified and feel like crossing the streets in Vietnam is like a suicidal mission. Okay. All right, super scary. Okay, and are the roads and streets in the area where you live busy? Are they busy?
Yes, I think the streets near my home are quite busy, especially during rush hours. Like there's a constant flow of motorbikes, cars, and even buses. So which can make the atmosphere so noisy and crowded.
Hmm. Noisy, crowded. What else? What are some other adjectives that you can think of? Noisy, crowded.
Eating
Mm-hmm.
or
Suffocating, right? You have just used that. Suffocating. Yeah, that's fine. And what is the adjective to talk about like a state of disorganization? Disorganization. It is not orderly. It's not orderly. People moving around in a very disorganized way. Chaos.
chaotic, right?
Chaotic. All right. Chaotic or maybe turbulent. Okay, yes, chaotic, turbulent. We have lanes. We have lanes for cars and lanes for motorbikes, right? But
Yeah,
when it
so
comes to rush hour, they just use them. Okay, moving on. So, oh yeah. So the next time, if you want to describe something lively and
oh,
bustling, and a lot of people there, like congested, but in you want to paint it in a negative light, you can use chaotic, like turbulent, something like that, or suffocating. All right. Adding some adjectives will always make your answer livelier, more life. Yes. Moving on, we can talk about coins. Okay, this is the kind of topic that are usually a part of the test. So, did you use coins as a child?
yes, I used coins quite a lot when I was younger. Uh, They were commonly used for small purchases like snacks or I think bus rides. So at that time, I found coins interesting because of their different size and designs.
Hmm, okay,
But now,
yes.
what has more?
All right. So I'm about to ask that, like, do you still use coins in your daily life right now?
No, actually, I don't even use cash now. I often use a digital payment and some uh, wallet, like online wallet.
Mhm. Okay, you answer like, I don't even use cash, right? Okay. And you can say something like let alone coins. Đừng nói tới coins. I don't
Yeah.
even use cash. Maybe you're using like a bitcoins or something. Oh, we have coins, but it's Bitcoin. All right, yes. Just kidding. And do you think it is convenient to use coins? You think so?
I think no, coins can be inconvenient because they are bulky and easy to lose, and also counting and uh, handling coins takes more time than using cards or mobile payments. Yeah.
Okay, using cash, right? Okay. Or mobile payments, online payments. Okay. Let's say we have this one. Okay, okay. Let's see. Right.
bulky, bulky,
Okay, once again, bulky, bulky. Bulky, right? Yes, bulky. All right. And it's not easy for you to keep track of it, right? Keep track of coins, especially if we're talking about large amounts of coins that we need to handle at one time. Okay. And have you ever collected coins?
So I say that I never collected coins seriously, but I
Mm,
did a few special ones and souvenirs from different places I visited. Uh, I think I find coin collecting interesting because coins can reflect a country history and culture.
okay, culture. All right, it can reflect a country's history and culture, especially if we're talking about like with each historical period, we tend to have a different coins, right? Okay, reflecting what was happening at that time. Okay. Yes, really good. We can move on to talk about bike. Right? Okay. Today we'll be focusing on some of the part one topic. Okay. To make sure that we crush all of the ones, all the areas in the forecast. Okay. So did you ride the bike when you were younger?
Yeah, definitely. I learned how to ride a bike when I was around 5 years old, and
Hmm.
it was a fun and exciting experience. And I enjoyed cycling around my neighborhood with friends. Also, riding a bike gave me a sense of freedom in some extent.
Okay. Give you a sense of what? I'm sorry.
Freedom.
Freedom, okay. Give you a sense of freedom, okay. Because when you are riding a bike, you can be close to nature, right? Okay. You can take your time to explore the neighborhood, something like that. So it can be, I've just thought of a word you say, oh, it can be a very liberating
Really.
experience, experience. Okay. Something that gives you freedom, liberating experience. Okay. And how about at the moment? Do you often ride the bike now?
So not very often, mainly because I live in a busy city where traffic and road safety concerns like discourage me from cycling regularly. However, I do enjoy uh, biking in parks or countryside areas during weekends because it is a great way to exercise and relax.
Okay. So you want to be riding your bicycle in a safer place, right? Okay.
Interesting.
Uh, so like when you mentioned like road safety concerns, right? You can be a little bit more specific. You say because we don't have what kind of plans for bikes? What
Uh,
kind of you have used the word that word before? Designate.
designated.
We don't have designated lanes for bikes, right? Okay. And with bikes, we tend to use the same lanes with motorcycles. Okay. Which can be once again a suicidal mission. Okay. Yeah. Moving on. We can do one more topic. Okay. Where did you go to play as a child when you were younger? Where?
I, as I remember, I often played in a neighborhood park, which had plenty of open space and playground playground equipment. Sometimes I also played in schoolyards or on quiet streets near our homes, near my
Mm.
homes. Yeah.
All right. Yes. So you played at the nearby park and sometime The space for you and your friends playing with each other was at school, right? Okay, yes, yes, yes. And what are your best childhood memories?
Hard to say, but I think some of my best memories involve family gatherings and festivals, where everyone came together to celebrate with food, music, and laughter. So I also uh, remember playing with my siblings and my friends during long summer holidays. That's all.
Okay, okay. So a lot of different activities, right? And most of the memories you have just mentioned, they were family oriented. Okay, very family oriented. Okay. And maybe you'll say something like, "Oh, my childhood mostly revolved around family." Mostly revolved around a very family oriented. And did you enjoy your upbringing and your childhood? Did you enjoy it?
Absolutely. I really love my childhood.
Mm.
It was a time full of curiosity, fun, and learning new things every day. I mean, I was lucky to have a supportive family and friends who um, like made those years joyful and memorable.
Joyful, memorable, unforgettable, right? Okay, okay, okay. All right. Have you ever learned to play a musical instrument before?
So I yes, I have learned to play the piano. So I started when I was around 10 years old, but now I had gave up. I have given up. Yeah.
Okay. Why was it? What was the
Um,
reason back then?
I think I'm not advanced in it, and I don't have I don't have a knack for it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't have what?
Like player.
Oh, yeah, flair. Okay. You don't think you have a flair for playing the piano, right? Okay. There's a time you say, I am not advanced in it. Okay. Most of the time we will say something like advanced knowledge, right? We don't typically refer advanced to you as a person. So what is another word that you can think of that can fit the context here?
Proud. I'm not well.
You can say proficient at it or proficient in it. Okay, not proficient. Okay. And that's about the kind of musical instrument that you have learned to play. How about the ones that you enjoy listening to?
But yeah, I really enjoy the sound of the piano, so I learn it. But because it's so like expressive and
Mm,
versatile. I think I also love the violin. Um, it has a emotional tone that sometimes gives me goosebumps. Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. You use really good word of goosebump. Okay, we can move on to our part two topic. Okay. A time you showed something new to a person who was younger than you. Okay. Show something new to a person who was younger than you. What do you think?
Uh, One memorable time um, start with me is that when I taught my little cousin how to use digital drawing tools for the first time. So he had always loved sketching on paper, but he had never tried using a tablet or any kind of drawing software before. So during his winter break, he came to stay with my family for a week. And since I was working on some digital art project at that time, he kept wandering around me and looking fascinated. One afternoon, while I was editing a picture, I invited him to sit with me um, and explained how the drawing tablet worked. At first, he struggled a bit with the the tools. It felt strange to draw while looking at the screen instead of his hand, but I patiently guided him through the basics. I even let him color a picture, so he was thrilled, and it turned out quite well. So I wanted to encourage his creativity, and if I had ignored his interest, I would have missed a great opportunity to spark something in him. So I wish I had started learning digital art when I was his age. So he already had more talent at at that time than I did back then. So since then, he has been practicing on his own tablet at home. I couldn't be prouder. I'm sure that by next year, he will have improved a lot more. Yeah, that experiment feel both proud and nostalgic.
Okay. Really good. You talk about a time you familiarized your cousin with a digital editing tool, right? Okay, something like that. However, okay, as you were talking, I wrote down the phrase clearer time reference. It is because you know what? The examiner, they will know for sure you are referring to something in the past, right? You say, oh, today I'll be talking about when I guided my cousin how to use something. Okay. I helped him to navigate the complexity of the tool, whatever. But it would be more helpful if you say, oh yeah, I don't remember clearly, but it took place maybe around last summer or something. You can make up a time reference here. As long as the time reference that you use was based in the past. Okay. So when you say something like that, the examiner will register in his or her mind, oh, this was happening in the past and we have last summer. And the reason for that is because it will serve as a foundation for whatever the past related tenses that you will use later. So we'll use he had never been exposed to any kinds of tools like that before. So the examiner will understand, oh, it was before last summer, right? Okay, something like that. So you add it to serve um, as a time anchor. Serve as a time anchor. Một cái mỏ neo về thời gian. All right, really good. Yeah, okay, just that's it. Because you know, your previous answer was decent, okay, but for the sake of making it clearer and erase all of the confusion or all of the possible doubts in the minds of the examiners, adding a time anchor like this is recommended. Okay, because the last time when I took the test with the examiner, I'm sorry, when I took a course with him, whenever I started using past perfect or past continuous or something of that nature, he would immediately told me like, Oh, your use of the tenses seemed incomplete. So can you add some time preference? So that's it. We can move on to part number 3. Okay. So, we talk about a time when someone was introduced to something new, right? Something like the very first experience. So, can you tell me some of the ways to boost the pace of learning, okay, to increase the speed of learning something? Okay.
I think the best way to boost the pace of learning is to
Mm,
have a good tutor, a good
mm,
mentor that
mm,
they can provide you a decent advice and also a proper instruction to identify your strengths and your weakness more quickly, then you can fix it immediately and also improve your skill and your knowledge. And I think another way is praising, because I think some compliments have positive power to enhance someone's confidence and help them trust in themselves, and they can grow faster. I think so.
So you mentioned 2 different ways, right? The first one is to find like a qualified teacher, a qualified instructor, okay, to help you to save time. However, we have the word like this, so let's see. The pronunciation of it can be a little bit tricky.
Mentor. Mentor.
Hmm,
Mentor.
okay.
mentor, mentor,
Especially the pronunciation of the Americans. They say like mentor, like that. Okay. So can you help me with that? Like mentor.
Mentor.
Yes. Okay.
mentor,
It sounds like a French word, mentor, like that. Okay. Like bonjour or something. Okay, mentor. You mentioned strengths. However, this one should be weaknesses, right? Strengths and weaknesses. Once again, strengths.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Okay. And have you ever heard of this phrase, trials and errors?
Yeah, trials and errors.
Okay. So you can say, oh, by having a mentor, okay, learners can avoid the period of trials and errors, right? Okay. They'll have a clearer path of development. And second thing you mentioned is like, do you mean like external praises, external compliments?
Right.
Okay. How about something internally?
So internally, they have to have some strong determination,
Hmm.
like big, big motivation to push themselves out of their comfort zone and um, exert all the energy and time to come put the whole effort to do that task, that's skill, and to be more proficient.
Okay. You can say like they need to focus single-mindedly. Okay. Focus single-mindedly on their learning. Okay. Because the initial question was like, how can we boost the learning pace, right? The speed of learning. So with better concentration, we can get things done much more quickly. However, what I meant initially was like you mentioned the external compliments. And I asked you, how about internal? Like we can at the same time, we can compliment ourselves. We can celebrate the small wins, right? I don't know if you have ever heard of the concept of celebrate small wins.
Okay.
Okay, it's like we track our progress, and when we hit some milestones, okay, we can recognize our progress and then use it as a motivation to move forward. Okay, so I would say something like internal motivation when you celebrate the small wins that you make. Okay, moving on. Describe a person you know who enjoys dressing well, like a fashionista or something like
About my friend.
that. Okay, your friend, right? Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, one of my closest friends, Link, he is someone who always stands out for her sense of style. I
Mm,
have known her since high school, and over the years, I have noticed that she has never stopped caring about how she looks. In fact, she has been passionate about fashion for as long as I can remember. So she is currently studying fashion design at a international university in Hanoi, and it honestly suits her perfectly. Um, so even even so even back when we were still in high school, while others people um, were wearing basic uniforms, she was always adding a personal touch, maybe a different scarf or a unique hairstyle and some handmade accessories. I remember one time uh, during a school event, she was wearing a vintage outfit while everyone else was just going for casual clothes. That day, she truly stood out. So I, I think she usually wears elegant but creative outfits. She loves neutral tones like beige, cream, or olive green. Over the past few years, she has collected an impressive wardrobe. And if I had had her eye of fashion, I would have dressed much better in my teenage years. So yeah, I think by the time she graduates next year, she will have completed several uh, fashion projects with some local designers. I think so.
yes, yes, yes. At the end, did you say like her eye about fashion or something? What was the preposition that you used last time?
But yeah, I think so.
Her eye of fashion or something. Okay. Oh yeah, four is the right one. Four is the right one. Eye for fashion. Okay, yes. In your answer, you used the word like stood out like 2 times, right? Stood out, stood out, stood out, stood out. So what else can you say? Mhm. A lot of people have to look at her, right? So she was the blah 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 of attention.
Oh, the center of attention.
Yeah, the center of attention. Actually, a while ago, I learned a pretty advanced word to replace the word center, like center of attention. I'm not very sure if I can write it correctly. Like, yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah. A person or a thing that is the center of attention.
cynosure, cynosure,
Okay, cynosure, cynosure. Once again, cynosure.
Cynosure.
Mm.
Cynosure.
This one sure, not sure, sure.
Sure.
cynosure,
Sure.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
Sure is like in she, right? Sure in she. Okay.
cynosure,
So you can say, oh, the cynosure of all eyes. Okay, the cynosure of all eyes. Oh my God. Okay, this one can be a pretty advanced piece of vocabulary that you can use. Yeah, because I mentioned to you before, like there was a book that you can learn all the exotic vocabulary like this, and the book names is Verbal Advantage. We can learn all of the, I would say, the kind of weird words from that if you want to use it. Okay, cynosure of all eyes. I'm guessing not a lot of people know what it means. Apart from the examiner themselves, they will know. Okay. In the beginning, I've noticed. T at the end, please. I've noticed. Okay. One more time, please.
Noticed.
Okay. When we was still in high school. When we?
Were.
When we were still in high school, right? We were. Okay, a lot of good work right here. How about this one?
touch, touch,
Okay, touch.
Touch.
Okay. At a touch of.
The touch of.
Touch, right? Touch. Lots of the time people will say like touch or something like that. Touch, no. A touch of something. Okay, yes. And just some of the information I have just mentioned, making sure with the pronunciation clearer in the part of touch and noticed and we were, right? And with stood out, you can say the center of attention or the cynosure of all eyes. Cynosure of all eyes. All right, okay. So do you think older people are as fashionable as young people?
I think it depends on the person. Yeah, many older people are still fashionable in more classic or elegant way. Um, so why younger people tend to follow fast changing trends? I mean, you know that the older generations may not feel the need to keep up with fashion, but that doesn't mean they dress poorly. So in fact, some older individuals still have a like very good sense of like refined sense of style. I think so.
Oh my God, refined. Do you remind me of this word? Okay, refined sense of fashion. Okay, because I was about to give you a list of different adjectives that share the same meaning with refined. We can use sophisticated, or we can use what is that? Sophisticated. Oh, polished. Okay, polished, sophisticated, or refined sense of fashion. And you also mentioned like with the seniors, when it comes to their choice of fashion, they tend to go for something classic, right?
Right.
Okay. Or at the same time, apart from classic, you can use what timeless. Okay. They will opt for some timeless pieces of clothes. Okay, you can give some of the example like some blazer or something like that. Okay, and you can even talk about their choices of colors. Okay, of colors of clothing. All right, that not only flatter their body. Okay, not only flatter their body. Can you guess what it means like flatter their body?
It's like opposite with fit.
No. We don't say fatter, it's flatter. Okay, so they opt for the choices of clothing that flatter their body. Flatter their body, it means enhances their appearance. Okay, make it even more visually appealing than it is actually is. So we can use what flatter someone's figure or body in the topic of fashion, right? Okay, as you can see here, this one, to flatter somebody or something, to make somebody or something look attractive.
Right.
Oh, so the color can flatter people, right? Flatter. At the same time, I'm gonna say flatters one's ego as well. Yes, really good. Flatter but their body. All right. And do you think women are more fashionable, more stylish than men? And why?
So generally, I think women seem more interested in fashion and tend to have more variety in their clothing choices. So society often encourages women to care about their appearance more than men. So which might explain the difference. However, I think things are changing nowadays. Many men also pay close attention to how they dress.
And do you think, okay, you think what? I'm sorry, you think what?
I think nowadays men can be more fashionable than women too.
All right. You can say there's an emerging trend, right? There's an emerging trend of men caring so much more about their appearance, or if you want to change it, you can say the look. All right. Yes. And I was about to ask you, do you think like there are more prominent figures in the fields of men's fashion or men's modeling? So that creates some sort of like a wave or a trend for men to follow the idols. We have some very good looking male models even in Vietnam. So it kind of like it triggers a trend for people to take care of their skin and how they look, their body, stuff like that. And at the same time, one of the things that can complement their appearance is definitely their outfits, right? So they also care about fashion. And in your answer, you know what? When it comes to like pay attention to appearance, you can say appearance. Conscious, once again. Appearance appearance conscious. You can say, oh, women are traditionally more appearance conscious, traditionally more appearance conscious. Okay. And you can say, however, okay, things have started to become more balanced. Started to become more balanced. Okay. Seem more interested in there's nothing wrong with using interested in this context. However, is there another word for that? Seem more like women traditionally or typically they seem to be more interested in. They seem to be more in.
Oh, invested in.
Okay, invested in. It can mean like financially invested or emotionally invested. All right, yes, really good with this one. And do you think online shopping will replace in-store shopping in the future? Like totally displace in-store shopping in the future?
I think online shopping will become more dominant, but is unlikely to completely replace in-store shopping. Some people still prefer seeing or trying clothes in person, especially when it comes to luxury items. So traditional shops might survive, but only by adapting or offering better experiences. I think so.
Okay, how can they offer better experiences? Maybe they can combine the experience of shopping with some other recreational activities to make shopping a more well-rounded and holistically appealing kind of recreational activity.
Yeah, so maybe they could provide personalized customer service, let people try products in person or create interactive spaces where shopping feels more enjoyable. I think so.
All right, yes. So interactive like activities or display, right? Okay, and let people customize their products, okay, or provide like exceptional and impeccable customer service. Okay, some of the words that we learned last time. Do you remember? Like impeccable, like perfect, right? Okay. And one of the question that I wanted to ask you initially is like when you mentioned people still prefer to go to brick and mortar store, right? Brick and mortar stores, especially when it comes to expensive purchases of luxuries. Why is that? They want to do what?
So I think because they they want to check the quality fit and the feel before spending a vast sums of money. So for instance, with some clothes, the fabric might look different in real life or the size might not fit as expected. So luxury items are usually expensive, so customers often want to examine every detail. I think so.
Okay, yeah, you use the word that I love, examine. Okay. And yeah, the word that I was actually looking for is like the word inspect. Okay. They come to the store and they inspect, right? The quality, or they examine the quality. So at the end of the day, they want to risk, mitigate risk, something like that. Okay. So as you can see, I did ask you two follow-up questions, like how can the experiences of shopping offline be improved? That's the first thing. And you did manage to give me a decent answer. And at the same time with, luxury item. So why do people feel more of a need to go to such places? So yeah, whenever you are giving an answer, just adopt the thinking of the examiner. Maybe the examiner might have a question with this point of mine. So I might elaborate to him on this one in advance. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's really good. We can move to the next one. Okay. Describe a no. Hmm. Okay. A problem you had while shopping online or in a store? Last time we had like describe an excellent service, a good service, right? In a store. And this one is like a problem you had while shopping online or in a store. This one is about like the issue, some trouble that you ran into.
About
Mhm.
a year ago, I had quite like a stressful experience while shopping in a busy department store in Hanoi.
Mm.
I had gone there to buy a birthday gift for my younger brother. He's really into sports, so I was planning to buy him a new football shoes. And at that time, I was carrying a small handbag and wasn't very secure. So after spending nearly an hour browsing, I finally found the perfect gift. But when I reached into my bag to grab my wallet, I realized it had had gone missing. At first, I thought I had just misplaced it in another pocket, but after
Mm.
checking several times, like I knew it had been stolen, or maybe I had accidentally dropped it while I was walking through the crowd. I froze, uh, and my hands were shaking. I felt completely helpless. The most and I, the most frustrating part was that I had just withdrawn my money from the ATM before entering the mall. I wish I had been more careful with my belongings that day. If I had kept my wallet in more secure pocket, it probably wouldn't have happened. So
Okay.
the
All
issue,
right.
the customer service desk, but no one had returned the wallet. Since then, I have become much more cautious whenever I go shopping. Yeah.
All right. No one actually did try to lend a helping hand, right? Okay. All right. In the beginning, I think we need to fix this one as soon as possible. We don't say pocket, we say pockets, right? Kit. Okay. Once again, pocket. Uh, and if you want to replace it with another one, what could it be? Like your pocket?
It would be a compartment.
Yes, compartment. Okay, within your purse or your wallet or something like that, right? We can say compartment. Okay, and if it is pocket, make sure it is kit, not cat, right? Pocket. All right, so I think that the same problem was with the very first performance. Like you talk about, oh, a time you ran into a problem in a busy department store in Hanoi, right? And then I did you mention a specific time period, like last year, 2 months ago or something?
In initial, in the initial, I told that about a year ago.
Ah, okay, yes, a year ago. Okay, a year ago. And then a year ago, like I had gone there like before a year ago or something. Because you said like I had gone there.
No,
Uh,
I think I just said I had a quite stressful experience, I think so.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. And if you want to say like I go there or something, it should have been like I went there. I went there. I went there a year ago. Okay. And you will say, oh yeah, I had been there before, but nothing bad, nothing traumatic had happened. So I was very confident. I was chill, but then something traumatic happened. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. And at the end, I want to hear happened. Okay, wouldn't have happened. Okay, one more time. Okay, D at the end, right? Okay, 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 okay. Next one. Can you tell me some of the usual problems that customers have to face while shopping, both online and offline?
There, I think in physical stores, customer might face problems like crowded spaces, poor service,
Mm-hmm.
and for example, during some major sales, stores can become extremely packed, which makes the shopping experience time consuming and dreadful. Also, sometimes the product people are looking for is out of stock, and there's no clear information about when it will be available again. But when it comes to shopping online, the problems are quite different. Many people complain that the item they receive is not the same as what was shown on the website,
Mm-hmm.
either the quality or the size. And I think about another issue is the technical problems like payment errors or failed deliveries also happen quite often. Yeah.
Okay, you so talk about like the issues when we are proceeding to the transaction stage, right? Okay, we pay the money, but the system keep reporting some errors, and we seem to be unable to get it done. All right, and it can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating. You mentioned something like major sales. I think it would be better if you add the word like seasons. Okay, some major sales seasons. Some of the physical stores can be incredibly packed, right, with customers, something like that, and it exceeds. There's a exceed their handling capacity. Capacity. Exceed their handling capacity. So it lead to a massive drop in service quality. All right. So when you encounter some of the problems like the payments couldn't go through, or the products you receive are low in quality and different from what you ordered before regarding the size, what customers should do in such circumstances when they bought something online?
I think they should first carefully review the seller's return or refund policy.
Mhm.
If the product is incorrect, so contacting the seller or customer service promptly is essential, with clear evidence such as photos or videos. Uh, if the sellers like is cooperative, the customers can escalate the issue by reporting it to um, the main e-commerce platform or consumer protection agencies. I think so.
Okay. I think whatever the solutions you have just delivered, they are fine. Okay, they are decent, right? We should first of all we should review the policies, okay, and then we take further steps in terms of communication with the sellers, the vendors, the online ones. But I think there's also a very effective way to get a very prompt response from the shops, very quick response from the shops, and they even beg you for your response, like they even beg you, oh, what happened, tell me, I'll give you like the correct order, the correct package very soon. There's a way for that. If you're ruthless enough, if you're brutal enough, you can do that.
You can post some reviews, like
Okay. Yeah.
bad reviews online on social media to warn other buyers and pushes the sellers to improve their services. Yeah.
We can leave one story reviews. So, however, I don't recommend this one because
I
it can completely wreck a business.
yeah,
Okay, with some reviews like that, but it can be like the last
result.
the last resort. Okay, when other more friendly approaches do not work and the sellers keep being stubborn, okay, we can do that. But I strongly recommend you seek other solutions. Okay, move on. We have this one. Describe a popular place for sports. Popular place for sports. Okay.
Is
Popular space too for sports. Okay, it can be tricky, right?
that avoided.
You can talk about like some sort of Mỹ Đình Stadium, something
Okay.
like that. Okay. Or you can even talk about your nearby park, like people go there to do tai chi, to do some badminton, to do some street workout, whatever. And a little bit of sport facilities and equipment are also installed there. We don't need to talk about something that is pretty big scale. All right, we can talk about smaller scale. You can say, oh, it's popular, but within my local area only. Okay. Oh, you can say that. Okay, so yeah, this depends on you. It's up to you.
No, but let me talk about meeting. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
About the Meeting National Stadium, which
Mm.
is one of the most famous sports venues in Hanoi, Vietnam. It's located in the meeting area, a bustling district in the city. I think I first went there about 3 years ago when I was attending a football match between the Vietnamese national team and another Southeast Asian country. Um, I remember that day vividly because it was raining lightly, but the excitement in the air was so strong that no one cared about the weather. Oh, so while I was watching the match, thousands of fans were cheering loudly, waving flags, and sing chants continuously. At that moment, I realized how much passion people had for football here. Before that day, I had never experienced such a lively atmosphere. In fact, I had wished many times that I could attend a big sports event to feel the real energy of the crowd. So,
Mhm.
over the past few years, I have been to the stadium several times. not only for football matches, but also for large concerts or cultural events. And I think it has become a place where people gather to share joy and happiness. So, one thing I have noticed is that the stadium has improved a lot. The facilities used to be quite old, but by now they have been upgraded with better seats, large screens, and modern sound systems. So by next year, they will have completed even more renovations, and I am sure it will become an even more comfortable place, um, popular place for visitors who loved sports. Yeah.
Okay, really good. You know what? I was about to remind you like you need to give more description of the stadium, but then you added it just at the right time. You talk about the renovation, you talk about the facilities, right? You talk about the purpose of it. It's not only for sport, but for other recreational activities like concerts, whatever. Okay, so it was fine. It was fine. I was very worrying in the very beginning when a little bit of your answer, the focus of it was leaning more towards like the experience of the game itself. Okay, like how you felt and between Vietnam and another team in Southeast Asia. Yeah, you talk about the atmosphere and something like that. But I tended to say like you could add a little bit like the seat or the view. Okay. Was it comfortable like that? Was it comfortable? And did you get like a good view of the whole stadium? All right. Did you sit like far from the main field or like near to it, something like that? It could have been a little bit more detailed. Okay. Hmm. Um, you can use word like a multi-purpose sports complex. Okay, it is a multi-purpose sports complex. Some of the big games of football on a national scale will be held here, right? Held at that place. But at the same time, if you look clearly on the side, we have some running tracks, right? Okay. Or some of the other like Olympic related courts and facilities. It's not just exclusively for football. It's also about other sports. Okay, yes, really good. So I will write down here, decent, but more details regarding the stadium itself could be added. Yes. Okay. But don't worry, it was fine because at the end you added exactly what the question is asking you to do. All right. Okay, so is it necessary to build a public sports spaces?
Absolutely. So, and building public sports spaces is essential for promoting a healthy lifestyle among
Mm, mm,
all age groups,
mm,
especially in urban areas where
mm,
people may lack private outdoor areas. Uh, these spaces provide accessible and affordable options for exercise and recreation, encouraging which can encourage community to uh, to give that and like I think without adequate public sports facilities, many people might find it difficult to stay active which can lead to negative health outcomes on a larger scale. I think so.
Okay. So you mean like people will have more accessible and affordable options for their physical activity, right? However, can you think a little bit on a broader scale, like when people have places available for them to physically engage in some activities? Okay, what can it mean to society and a country on a broader term, on a broader scale? Mhm.
Oh, I think some on the broader scales, public sports venues can encourage community interaction and social cohesion,
Mm,
helping to bring people together regardless of their background and strengthen social bonds. I think investing in public sports infrastructure can reduce healthcare costs by preventing lifestyle-related like s- uh, disease
mhm.
diseases such as obesity, diabetes, or heart problems.
Okay.
When people have easy access to places for physical activity, the overall public health may improve and boosting which can boost productivity and maybe economic development. I think so.
Okay. Because when the workforce is healthier, it's more robust, it's more physically strong, their productivity is guaranteed, right? Okay. Compared to a you can say a disease-ridden workforce. Okay. A disease-ridden workforce will take a lot of days off, right? Okay. Which can disrupt productivity, production, and the whole flow of economy. So just by a small investment of making public spaces for exercising more accessible, we can drive the whole economy of the country, even if the impact is a little bit indirect, not direct. Okay, that's really good. All right. Okay. And what are the benefits of sports for children? Okay, benefits of sport, but for children, we focus on the subject of children.
So
Mhm.
and I would say sports bring numerous benefits to children. Physically, they have improved strength, coordination, and overall health, reducing the risk of obesity and some related disease in early age. And
Mm,
mentally, sports can teach important life skills like discipline,
mm,
teamwork, uh, and goal setting. Children who participate in sports often develop higher self-confidence and I think better stress management. I think so.
mm, mm. So these skills are particularly something to children. They are particularly useful to have in children, right? Like if children at a very young age and they have early exposure to sports, they can nurture these skills with a substantially longer period of time to hone those skills or those abilities. Okay. Really good. Perfect. I think we will have some very good word like disease-ridden workforce. Okay. As compared to a physically healthy and robust workforce. Okay. Yes. All right. We can talk about the next one. Describe a person you know that is from a different culture background. Someone you know who is from a different culture's background. It can be a friend of yours who is of Chinese origin. I don't know if you have a lot of friends who are of Chinese origins. I have a tons of them. Okay. And maybe foreigners. Yeah, whatever. Or maybe you are in the you in the north side. So if you have some of the people coming from the south side, it can be a different cultural background as well. Okay. We don't need to talk about like ethnicity. Okay. We don't need to talk about ethnicity differences. It can be cultural differences. Okay.
Uh, so I want to talk about a girl I met from Japan
Mm-hmm.
during a Japanese festival held in Hanoi about a year ago. Her name is Aiko, and she was visiting Vietnam as a part of a cultural exchange program. Uh, Aiko is quite graceful with long, straight black hair, and he has a gentle smile uh, and bright eyes that immediately made her seem very approachable and friendly. Usually dresses simply but elegantly, often wearing traditional Japanese clothes, clothes like kimono during special events. At that time, I had been attending the festival with some friends, and while I was exploring different vendors, I accidentally bumped into Aiko near a tea ceremony stand. We started talking, and I found out she had lived in Tokyo all her life before coming to Vietnam. What impressed me most was her calm and polite manner. She spoke softly but confidently, and she was always willing to listen carefully. While we were chatting, she explained many interesting details about Japanese customs and traditions. So she mentioned that she had never experienced such a lively and colorful event outside Japan before. So I wished uh, I wished I could visit Japan someday to see this tradition firsthand, especially after hearing her stories. So since then, we have kept in touch occasionally through social media. Yes. Over the past months, Echo has shared a lot of photos and videos of her daily life in Japan, which gives me a better understanding of her culture. Yeah,
Okay, her
thanks.
culture and her day-to-day life, right? Okay. How the real culture of Japan is. Okay, it can be a very authentic experience. It's different from the one that you see on mainstream media. It's something real and authentic through photos. Okay, that's good. And this time I could hear like you say like a year ago, right? A year
Yeah.
ago, attended something like that. It was good. However, when you say at that time I had been attending the event or something, did you use past perfect continuous?
Maybe.
Okay. So
Yes.
I just I do believe like we can just say I attended. I think so. Okay. Just simple past is okay. You can say, oh, when I attended something, I saw her or something, or I accidentally bumped into her, something like that. Okay. Okay. Because had been attending is something like before something happened and for a certain period of time before something actually happened in the past. Okay. She had left in. I want to hear the connected sound like left in, left in. She had left in.
Lived it.
Hmm.
Lived it.
Yes, okay. She had left in. All right. So when you pronounce something like this, the examiner will be, oh, okay. Quality speaker, quality speaker. Okay. Just kidding. All right. So, all right. Where and how can we get to know people of different cultures better? Okay. Where can we meet people of a variety of different cultural backgrounds? Where? The locations? And how can we do that?
I can get to know people from different cultures better in various places, such as universities, workplaces, and um, festivals. But nowadays, online platforms and social medias also provide great opportunities to connect with people worldwide. But to truly understand each other is a it is important to engage in open uh, conversation, participate in cultural exchange activities. Yeah, for example, you can attend language exchange clubs or international events which can foster meaningful intercultural friendships, I think.
Intercultural friendship, really good word. Intercultural friendship. I remember back then when I majored in English, there was a subject like cross-cultural, intercultural, something. Okay, learning about cultures about a country. Okay, so intercultural friendship, good one. You mentioned some sort of language exchange programs, right? Okay. And you also talked about like the university can be a place for that. Mhm. How about like online forums or discussions like Discord? You know about that, Discord? Okay, some application. So do you think like digital applications can help to facilitate cultural understanding? Hmm.
Yeah, and I think in certain extent it can facilitate cultural understanding, but I think uh, I think experiencing firsthand activities and some direct face-to-face conversation will have better efficiency. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe the
Like,
word, I'm sorry. Okay, it can be effective,
yes,
effectiveness. Okay. So you believe that the interactions must be hands-on, right? Okay, must be something in real life so that the knowledge regarding the differences in cultures can be conveyed fully and effectively. Really good. Okay, okay. And how can the traditional culture of a country and other cultures exist at the same time? The countries of the cultures of certain countries and those from foreign nations. How can they coexist?
They coexist through mutual respect and openness to
Mm,
from each other.
mm,
Education can play a vital role in this process by teaching people about their own heritage and the value of diversity. Meanwhile, communities can organize some cultural events where different traditions are celebrated together, that can promote understanding and appreciation.
mm. Okay. So the primary reason is like people need to maintain boundaries and respect, right? Okay. Need to understand, okay, differences are normal. We are meant to be different. Okay. Not everyone is the same culturally speaking. So by understanding that in the first place can prevent a lot of hostile interactions, right? Okay. And schools or the media can play a part in promoting the diversity, letting people know that there are differences and we need to be more culturally open, okay, or culturally more sensitive, or culturally more tolerant, tolerant. Because there are extreme groups of people who are too nationalist and they
Right.
think that their cultures are the best. So anyone behaving in a way that derails from their usual way, they will spread hate on that person. So in order for all these things to coexist, they need to understand it first. Okay, describe the home of someone you know well and that you often visit. Ah, okay, yes, describe a residence, an accommodation, a house, an apartment, a home, a villa, a cottage of someone. Okay, yes.
One of the homes I often visit in my best friend Link's house.
Mm,
We have known each other since high
mm,
school, and over the years, I have visited her place countless times,
mm.
especially during weekends or holidays.
Okay.
In fact, uh, I have probably been to her home more than any of my other friends. Her house is located in a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of Hanoi. Uh, it is a two-floor building with a small garden in the front, filled with roses and trees. Her father has been taking care of for years.
Mhm.
So I remember the first time I came over, her mom made had uh, her mom prepared some traditional Vietnamese dishes, and we all sat on a mat to enjoy the meal. It felt so warm and welcoming. The interior of the house is a beautiful blend of modern and traditional. The living room has wooden furniture with intricate carvings, uh, and there are some family photos neatly arranged on the wall. I have always thought that her home has a special charm, not because it's luxurious, but because it feels full of love and memories. Yep. So I truly wish I had a home as cozy and peaceful as hers. If my parents had chosen to build our house further away from the noisy main road, maybe we would have had the same quiet and relaxing atmosphere. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I have to be honest. I have to admit that you are very creative with the with structure and the if structure. Okay. You can quickly generate and improvise and come up with a lot of different scenarios and context to contextually fit these things into the right situation. Okay, if my family, if my parents had chosen a place far away from the noisy road or something, we would have had such a cozy home. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, however, this one is furniture, not furniture, furniture.
Furniture.
Okay, we don't say furniture, right? Two-floor building, nothing wrong with it. But most of the time we say two-story, right? Two-story building, something like that. And let's say, so you mentioned how relaxing, how quiet your friend's house is, right? Because it's located in the outskirts of the city, far away from the heart of the city, right? What are some other adjectives that can be used to describe how peaceful a place is?
Serene or tranquil.
Serene or tranquil, right? And if it were me, I will exploit these two words and even use them now for it, like serena, serenity, right? Serenity. I will use something like maybe soothing serenity, okay, or calming serenity, okay, yes, or even I will make some sort of combination like okay, maybe therapeutically serene, okay, therapeutically serene. It means serene in a healing way.
Like
Therapeutically serene. Can you help me with this one? Therapeutically serene.
therapeutically serene.
Okay, yes, yes. And at the same time, you say, oh, being in her house is very therapeutic. Okay, is very soothing, calming, and healing. Okay, yes, yes, really good, really good, really good. All right. Okay. So, what safety risks are there in residential buildings in cities? Okay, what are some of the risks?
Okay, so I think first, I think fire is a major concern, especially in older buildings, uh, with a lack of emergency exits. So fire definitely is something you need to be cautious. Cautious, yeah. And I think some natural disaster like earthquakes or storms can also pose threats, particularly in high-rise towers. Um, yeah, I think so.
Okay. So you mentioned the issues with fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes that can be an issue. I agree. You also mentioned like natural disasters, like storm, hurricane, or even earthquake. If we're living in high rises, okay, or skyscrapers, something like that. And at the same time, you can give me like an example of the country like Thailand or Myanmar. These two countries did experience that sort of like losses of life, right? Not just death. We also have losses of material possessions. Okay. However, this one we say, I'm sorry. This one we say exit, right? Exit. Okay, exit. Natural disaster, especially with high-rise buildings, and what is another type of building that can be particularly vulnerable when, let's say, a hurricane attacks, or in the face of natural disasters?
Some poor maintenance and like maintenance building, like some historical sites can be vulnerable vulnerable in front of some natural disaster because the infrastructure and also the what's the equipment can obsolete.
They can collapse, right?
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
collapse. And maybe the right word to use is like poorly,
Poorly
or buildings with.
maintenance.
Oh, okay. Or you know what? I was looking for you to use the word of run.
Rundown. Yeah.
Okay, run down. It's like low in quality, or degrading. Sorry, degrading. Okay. And at the same time, apart from rundown, you can talk about some slums, right? Okay. Some slums where some of the buildings, they are not only poorly maintained but poorly built in the very beginning. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So they don't have like strong foundations. Okay. And it can lead to high mortality rates. Okay. So with this kind of question, we can employ a wide range of accommodation of building related vocabularies, right? Tent buildings, rundown, slums, mortality rates, whatever. Okay, a lot. Moving on. Describe a time you saw a lot of plastic waste. I got this topic the second time I took the test, and I was absolutely panicking that time. I did talk like a dummy. Okay. I lost all of my confidence that time, but I think you could do much better. At the time you saw a lot of plastic waste.
Okay. I think a few months ago, I went on a short trip to Dawson Beach with my family. We had been looking forward to the getaway um, and the before the trip. So the weather was perfect that morning, with sunny, breezy, and weather, and just ideal for a beach day. However, the moment we stepped onto the sand, I was shocked. Like the coastal area was like, filled with plastic bottles, food wrappers, and even some flip flops. it looked more like a dumping ground that rather than a tourist spot. Apparently, the night before, there had been a large local festival, and many people had celebrated near the coast. I later found out that although there had been trash bins available, most visitors uh, ignored them.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we arrived the next morning, uh, the tide had brought even more waste, making the situation worse. I wish people had been more responsible. So, if it is the case, the beach wouldn't have been in such a terrible state. At first, I just stood there feeling overwhelmed and honestly a bit dis- disgusted. But then I noticed a group of volunteers collecting rubbish with uh, gloves and bags. I decided to join them, and my younger brother had to. It wasn't much, but by the time we left, we had uh, I filled several large bags of waste. Looking back, I'm glad I did something instead of just complaining. Since that day, I have been more conscious about reducing my plastic use.
Okay. There was a time like you say like there was a volunteer team trying to collect the trash with gloves and what? And
That's
bags, all right. Gloves and bags. So you decided to be a
join them.
part of them. Okay, join them. Okay. Okay, yeah, you did mention the exact time reference, and we have been looking forward, stepped onto the scene, and you were completely shocked, right? Okay. Just one minor issue when you say, "Oh, I stood there feeling overwhelmed." Okay, really good. Very smooth, very smooth. Okay, so, do you think we should continue using plastic products?
Um, so I think plastic products have both pros and cons. They are convenient, cheap, and widely used in food packaging. But however, I strongly believe we should limit their use, especially single-use plastics like plastic bags, straws, and water bottles.
Hmm.
So these items often end up in landfills or oceans, taking centuries to decompose. So while plastic may be necessary in some areas, we need avoid it whenever alternatives are available. I think so.
Okay. What kinds of alternatives are we talking about here?
I think uh, maybe some eco-friendly materials like reusable cloth bags or paper or bamboo straws,
Hmm.
and also glass bottles and steel containers like instead of
Hmm.
plastic containers. Yeah,
Okay. The kind of materials that can be reused multiple times, right? Or the kind of materials that will not take a lot of time to be degraded, okay, or to decompose, like with bamboos or paper, they can be turned into organic material after a while of being disposed of. Okay, that is good. And I don't know if you have ever heard of like rice straw like this. Okay.
Was it one?
Oh,
I went to a cafe. Yeah, they use it to serve the customer.
okay. And when you're using it after it, you can eat it. You can eat the straw. Okay.
It's quite hot. It's quite firm. I can't
Quite firm. Okay.
wait it to soften.
Ah, okay, okay. I did enjoy it. I did like consume it right after my drink, and I ate the whole thing. Okay. All right. So, okay. So what kinds of plastic waste are often seen in your country? Mhm.
So, in Vietnam, the most common types include uh like plastic bags. So there these these bags are often seen littered in public parks, or even floating in rivers and lakes. And I have also noticed that during festivals or large gatherings, plastic waste increases dramatically because people often eat on the go and throw things like throw things away carelessly.
Mm,
Unfortunately, many of these items are non-recyclable,
mm,
recyclable, and
mm.
end up polluting. These are
They are the main source of pollutants, right?
yeah.
Okay, main source of pollutant. So you mentioned like people they will eat on the go, right? So we can talk about the containers, the plastic containers of the foods. Okay, plastic containers, and at the same time, plastic cutlery, like with the fork and maybe chopstick. Okay. Oh, I don't think we have chopstick that are made from plastic. I'm sorry, like fork and spoon. Yes,
Right.
spoon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Really good. We can move on to this one. All right. Describe a historical period you would like to know more. This one can be challenging, right? Okay. All right. Yes. What is it gonna be? Hmm. Okay. Okay. You can talk about like a period in the past when North, South, we had a little bit of a war going on, the resistance war against the American invaders, or a war against the French colonization. Okay, a lot of different things. If you want to talk about like a local history, with this one we can also discuss international historical events as well. All right, so you can begin when you're ready.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think one historical period I would love to learn more about is
Mhm.
the Nguyen dynasty, especially during the early 19th century when the emperor first unified Vietnam.
Mhm.
So I study a bit about this era in high school. I wish I had paid more attention because now I find it absolutely fascinating.
Mm.
Well, what caught my interest was a visit I made last year to the imperial city of Hue. While I was walking through the ancient gates and the the historic walls, uh, I couldn't help but imagine what life had been like back then. So, I have learned that the Nguyen dynasty was the last dynasty of Vietnam, and it played a key role in shaping modern Vietnamese identity. The emperors had constructed monumental architecture, but honestly, what I know is still very limited. I I don't fully understand how society functioned under the monarchy, or how the common people lived during that time. So if I had studied more Vietnamese history when I was younger, I would have appreciated those heritage sites even more. So I think um, uh, I
You
think
can talk about like how can you plan to learn more, like the method of you trying to learn more. Okay.
by the end of this year, I will have read a few historical novels and biographies about the Nguyen emperors, to learn more about that period of time, and like their decisions um, can deeply influence Vietnam's history. So I wish, to be honest, I wish our education system placed more emphasis to local history, because understanding that period better would help me appreciate how far Vietnam has come, and it might even inspire me to protect and promote our cultural heritage more actively.
Okay. And at the same time, I'm not very sure, but it can be a possibility when you learn more about the history of your country and you start becoming more patriotic. Okay. Patriotic, right? Okay, yes. This one, sadly, it's not imperial. It's
Euro,
imperial. Once again.
Euro.
Okay. I don't know why, but 10 out of 10 people, when I asked them this question, they talk about Nguyễn Dynasty. Okay. All right. This one, I'm sorry.
I think it's the most easy one to talk about.
Okay, like the first one coming to your mind. Okay. Triều Nguyễn. Oh my God. Okay, decision, not decision. Decision. Okay, decision, right? And I think you did combine the ideas of like describe a place where you can learn historical knowledge from, right? You talk about a time you visited the imperial city of Huế, and while you were walking down something, okay, we can combine a little bit of ideas here and there. Really good. And you know what? You talk about read more historical novels or books or something like that. You say gain insight into the nuanced realities of his history. Okay. Nuanced reality. So nuanced here, it means okay. Unifaceted or multifaceted? Unifaceted or multifaceted? Which one? Unifaceted or multifaceted? Yeah, okay. Unifaceted here it means one-sided, right? Multifaceted, it means multiple sides considered. All right, okay. So the more you need, the more nuanced realities of history you can be aware of. Okay, can you help me to read this one?
Insight to the nuanced reality of history.
And the reason why I mentioned this is because history, because it stayed in the past, so it's easy for people to manipulate it and distort it. Okay, manipulate, distort, because they want to push certain narratives. They want to gain advantage, politically speaking, I don't know. So by reading more and consider a lot of different sides, you can have a nuanced understanding of what truly happened. Okay, no biases and no misunderstanding. It's really good. So, I'm sorry. Okay, should everyone know history? What do you think?
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm. Should everyone know? Okay.
yes, definitely. I think I strongly believe that everyone should have at least a basic understanding of history.
Hmm.
It helps people understand their roots,
Mhm.
their uh, their like cultural identity, and how past events have shaped modern society.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Without historical knowledge, we might fail to appreciate the sacrifice of earlier generations.
Hmm.
And I think history also can teach critical thinking when we are not analyze cause and effect of the past events. I think so.
All right, really good. I've never thought of that. Thank you. Really interesting idea. Oh, understand causes and effects, and at the same time, like historical figures, they did not make the right decisions all the time, right?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes they make mistakes. Okay, they messed up, like with the kings and the emperors, the presidents, especially in the South, they made a lot of mistakes. So by learning a history, we can avoid falling into the same trap, right? The same patterns. Okay. And how about the idea? Like whenever we mention history, some of the first idea is like heritage preservation, right? Okay. The second thing is like logical thinking skill. Okay. Like what you have mentioned. Okay. Um. One more thing is patriotic patriotism. Okay. Making the avoid making the same mistake. Avoid making the same mistake. So, what do you think about patriotism? Do you think by knowing more about the history, the sacrifice, the suffering, especially the young generations, they could enhance their patriotism? Do you think so?
Yeah, maybe knowing history deeply connects with patriotism because understanding our nation past, its struggles, its victories, and sacrifices uh, can instill pride and love for people of a country. So, so when people learn about their ancestor resilience and achievements, it often strengthens their sense of responsibility to protect their homeland. I think so.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. I understand how much effort was made in order for the country to be independent, right? Okay. They will value it and they will try their best to preserve what is given to them, what is blessed to them. Okay. However, this one we have the word nation, not nation, right? Okay. National, international, but here we have nation. Okay, and next time we'll practice with some more. Okay, I prepared some more right here. Okay, and next time will be our last lesson, right? If I'm not mistaken, like in the course. So in the beginning of the next lesson, we will do the practice as usual. But the last 30 minutes, I'll give you a mock test.
Okay.
Give you a mock test. Right. I'll try to be as similar to a real examiner as possible. Okay. So yeah, I'll try my best as well. Okay. All right, and we'll see each other next time. Is that okay? On Monday, right? On Monday from 2 to 3. Okay. Thank you. See each other next time. Bye bye. Enjoy your weekend. All right. Bye bye. Okay.